Hello everybody, it's Rick. It is March the 16th, 2017. If you want to reach me, Rick0327 at me.com. Alright, I made a video yesterday and I apologize. I wasn't too happy with that video. I was pretty hungover yesterday. We went out the night before, my wife and my stepson. We had a snowstorm, so we have like a tradition. Whenever there's a snowstorm, we like to go out because there's nobody on the road. So I had one too many margaritas, excuse me. Anyway, so I touched on the exemplified certificate, and it was pointed out to me by one of my subscribers in 2002 SoCal. He was right. I started on one thing and I went running into another thing, and I got to work on it. I do that a lot, and I'm sorry because I got a lot of things in my head, and I have a lot of stories to tell because I've been doing battle with these people. So anyway, let me get to exemplified copy. Now, what we're doing here is an exemplified copy or certificate. What you're doing is you're going to send notice. Now I already have it made. All right, I have here notice to the clerk. Right. Now notice to the clerk. We're already asking the notice to the clerk. See here. Now here's another thing, guys, and it's my fault. I got to be a little more clear with everybody. We have all of these yellow highlight here. It's because I'm trying to bring attention to you. Okay, and anytime you see something like here in between the brackets, it's up to you to fill that in. So like here, county clerk of name of county. So let's say you live in Allegheny County in Pennsylvania. You're going to put county clerk of Allegheny County. And then you come up to the toolbox here. There's a highlight here. And you just press none. You come over to the shaded area here. You press none, and it's gone. Okay. One guy, and you guys listen. You guys have to go over this document. I mean, please, they will not be effective if you're gonna be lazy. Okay. Besides you having to fill your name in here, you're going to learn something. These things are full of information. What I do is I summarize to these people, what's going on, like why what they're doing is wrong, and why why we're asking for what we're asking for. Okay, so like here, let me put this back here, right? Highlight. We're letting them know, like I put it here, please provide an exemplified certificate of the judgment for child support in the name of your name. And one guy got confused, all right? And Google exemplified certificate. What I'm telling you to do here, besides putting your name here, and you're going to remove the brackets, okay? So, the name of John Doe of anywhere county, New York. And you just removed it. You remove everything. It's gone. Goodbye. Don't leave it there. One guy submitted his interrogatories, and he left like things where it said your name, and the lawyer responded, and he was being a wise ass because he knew obviously the guy didn't write it, so he was being a smart ass in his response because this guy Jimmy forgot to remove it. Okay, we don't want to give these people any ammunition. And what happened is, this guy was a jerk anyway. He and what I did was I also simplified the interrogatories. because these lawyers, they're scumbags. That's what they do. That's their value, is to take something simple and complicate it. So I have something for this guy, and I'll get to that by the end of this video. But what I was saying to do here, when I say Google exemplified certificate, what you do is you Google it, and this comes up, like Wikipedia will show up, legal definitions here, right? We'll go over it. Exemplified judgment, law, and legal definition. Some states have adopted the Uniform Enforcement of Foreign Judgments Act. In those states, a foreign judgment defined as a judgment of any state or federal court. Isn't that funny how they call that a foreign judgment? Anyway, may be registered by filing an exemplified copy of the foreign judgment with the appropriate office of the court and notifying the debtor of the filing. An exemplified judgment is a copy of the judgment to which a certificate has been attached. Now it's right here, I'll show you. Right there. And it's going to look like something like this. Okay. Good job, computer. Thank you very much. Let me see if I can get this better. Of course not. Of course not. There you go. Thank you very much. Anyway, what this is, I'm sorry, it's not working out. It was working before because I actually did a test run. But, when the lights go off and the director says action, sometimes things don't work out good. All right. And what this is Deborah Boyce, whoever she is, she's a deputy city registrar, and she's certifying that somebody's marriage certificate or birth certificate is legit. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do this, because now, remember, I keep telling you guys that all court orders must be under the seal of the court and signed by the clerk. All right. How many times have you heard me say that? All right. So here we are. Here's the law. 28 U.S.C. 1698. That's a U.S. code. They are all bound by it. Now watch what it says here. All writs and process issuing from a court of the United States. Okay? Family court's supposed to be a court in the United States, right? Or a court of common pleas, superior court, any of these courts that I'm learning about, shall be under the seal of the court and signed by the clerk thereof. So, okay, what we're going to do now is, by getting an exemplified copy or certificate, we're going to take one of these bullshit orders that they issue, where it's signed by some commissioner, signed by a support magistrate, it's not signed, and it's always signed by a deputy clerk. You ever, okay, that's where I got suspicious. See, that's the reason why I know about this stuff, because I told you guys a million times, I think like a police officer, because, what's the best way to do away with a case, I learned, was you attack the procedures. So again, I'll use the example again. DWI, one, maybe you weren't drunk, but two, did the officer, provide the test the right way, in a timely fashion, and if he didn't or she didn't, the case is thrown out. It happens all the time. I've had friends of mine. I had one friend of mine one time. He discovered like a big, like a kilo of cocaine in the car, and the assistant district attorney asked him a question. Now, with the police, whenever now you guys might want to learn this, because I'm going to give you a little lesson here in police work. A police officer is only supposed to be searching you for a weapon, because he or she is supposed to be in fear. But usually they're looking for something else. But anyway, so the assistant district attorney asked my friend, what were you searching the car for? And he says, for drugs. Well, guess what? The case was thrown out. An A1 felony in New York City was thrown out, a very good arrest. And the guys got to go home. They didn't get to go with their drugs, but they got to go home. All right, so that's the thing here. That's where we're going at. So if your ordering you to pay child support isn't signed by a judge, Now you see, it doesn't say a judge, all right? But the person issuing it is supposed to be a judicial officer of the court. Now, a commissioner is not. A sport magistrate is not. Okay? But the clerk is. Now, we see all the time it's signed by a deputy clerk. Or here's this slick move they pull all the time. It's signed by the clerk in that court. So, the interrogatory that I was telling you about, the scumbag lawyer, what he was doing, what he did was, because we were asking under this law, I put in an interrogatory that this law here requires that a clerk signs a court order, and we want to see it. And if you don't have one, you have no right to be collecting, stealing your property by income withholding order. So this guy got cute, and he was saying it's burdensome. It's burdensome. It's burdensome that he has to provide the actual court order when when he said was you can go to the superior, and that's what he said. He goes, the court order can be found in the superior court. You see the slick move there? Now, that's the reason why we're doing all of these things, because I'm picking these people off from every different direction. Okay? Let me see here. Good job, Rick. Hold on. All right. See this? This is what you get, anybody that donates. All right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 affidavits. Some of them are information. Okay. Affidavit of Information to the Attorney General. What are we doing there? We're notifying the Attorney General that some crimes are being committed against you. All right? That's one direction. All right? So that person's notified. That way down the road, when we box these people in, the Attorney General cannot claim that he was not advised. And also you could say that down the road you could write him a threatening letter, or down the road when we have all the information finally that there is no court order, there is no copy of a money judgment registered or recorded with the clerk's office. All of these processes that are supposed to be followed weren't followed. So why are they still taking your money? This is a crime. Okay, Affidavit of Service. What this is all about is you have to, anytime you file a court order against somebody, let's say the demand to vacate, you have to provide a copy to the other party. Who's the other party? Your baby's mother. Okay? And you have somebody else. And again, see this here? Right there. Please write complete address. Guys, after you write your address, delete that, please. It's not hard. Okay? Just delete it. It doesn't look proper if you're going to leave all that stuff in there. We're trying very hard. If we can avoid it, we want the people to think that you wrote the letter. Okay? Because then they could play games if they think somebody else wrote it. All right? And what you're doing here with the Affidavit of Service, all you need is another person who's not a party. They have to be over 18 years old, and they're not part of the case. So obviously you can't do it. But your wife can, your girlfriend can, your brother can, your sister can. So what they're going to do is the undersigned deposed says the person, whoever's mailing the letter, that you write your name there, you're at the address on the date of service, served within the name of the document, demand to vacate, demand dismissal, objection, so on and so forth. And you're going to put an X in the box here, and you drop it in the mail. It doesn't have to be certified mail. Okay, once you mail it in the mail, that's it. You're covered. That's all you need to, you're covered. Because these are the type of things that the clerks bust chops about when you go to the clerk's office, because they don't know any better. Because they're not there to help you. Everybody who's been in the court knows this already. They're horrible people. They're disgusting people. All right. So cease and desist. We're notifying the employer now that you're not that something's not right here. That you're sending money, you're not doing your job, you're not verifying that the document is legal. What they do is a slick maneuver. This is what the banks did with me. I notified the bank about when they took the money from me. In there, they sent me a booklet of the agreement, and they're slick. It says if uh, the papers appear to be legal, So if it appears to be legal, that means that they have the right to freeze your bank account, which we know is not true. But this is what we're dealing with. So we're going at the employer here. The child support agency interrogatories. Here's another one I added: demand restoration of driving privileges. Okay, very simple stuff. Okay, you're not supposed to be you're not because the Supreme Court recognizes that driving is a right, and it's also needed to travel to and from work. Basically, as we know, child support, what they're doing is they're just using it as an extortion method. And because, all the state agencies cooperate with each other, just another hassle in our life. The demand to vacate, this is filed in the court. And, I don't want to sound, I know this is, for me, I've been doing this a while, and it's easier for me. Some people are like, Rick, I don't know where some of these things go, and I get it because I get it. Some of you guys are from different states, so I get it. You file it. Whoever's the last to notify you. So let's say one guy he lives in Maryland and it comes out of Texas. Deal with the Maryland people. I would send them to both. Okay, just to be safe, because we don't want to add any more time. This stuff is very time consuming, unfortunately. Okay, here is the Department of Justice memo, very good stuff. The employer interrogatories. Now, this is important because, and I remember I told you we're going after the agency, the attorney general, your employer. Now, your employer is the one you can really get at because they're and I could just I'll tell a quick story with my job. I worked for a big I worked for the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, like one of the biggest they're associated with the airports, the tunnels, bridges, the subway system they have between New York and New Jersey. It's a bi-state agency, probably the most successful one in the country, the best run one. But like every other bureaucracy, they're so big, they have so much money, they do whatever the hell they want. Okay, so they're one of these agencies. They do things until a judge tells them not to. So I've seen people that I work with, who I learned from, that they would be suspended from work, and finally they get their day in court. 3 years later, and they get their job back, they get all their back pay back, but that's what they had to go through to get there. But if you're able to get your employer, like file something in court, writ of mandamus and writ of prohibition to get a judicial review showing that the document that they're honoring, the income withholding order, is defective, then that's the best way to go, I think. So that's the reason why I went in that direction. Remember that I had the video, it says I'm thinking outside the box. Okay, and a few people reached out to me, and their employers are pushing back, pulling bullshit maneuvers. The one attorney told one subscriber, the attorney for his employer told the payroll people that that the federal child support laws supersedes the Constitution or something like that. And this is what they do. So But again, we got to have all our ducks in a row. You just can't go running into court till you have everything exhausted. That's another thing. What I'm doing here is we're exhausting everything. You have to do all of these things because I'm just telling you, uh, when you do try eventually, what we're doing eventually, we're going to end up going to an appellate court. We're not there yet because we have to get all this information. And you want to be able to walk in there and show that you reached out to this one. You reached out to your employer. You reached out to the courts. You filed the objections. You filed the demand. What the appellate courts don't want, and this is the reason why I haven't done it yet, and the reason why I haven't had you guys do it yet, is because they do not want you jumping over their rules and procedures. I'm just telling you that's the way it is. Okay? They can you do it? Yeah, but they're just going to look for some reason to dismiss the matter. You have to exhaust all administrative remedies and lower court remedies before you can go there. Okay? And again, the objection with the writ of quo warranto, I was talking about this yesterday in my video, is very important because the writ of quo warranto is demanding proof that the judge, one, is actually a judge, and two, that the oath of their office is a contract. Basically, they sign the contract that they will honor and support the Constitution. Well, we know that they're not. Okay, but if if by filing a writ of quo warranto, we're asking, where did you get this authority? Why are you helping a child support agency violate my due process? Okay, where is this jurisdiction? Because again, jurisdiction comes from evidence. Where's the evidence? They're just doing it because it's like a religion, because they believe it. Okay, it's their child support is a religion. They believe you must pay child support, and then their jurisdiction is because they say so. Well, that's what we're doing here. We're fighting these people. We're saying, well, you know what? We need to see proof. Okay? We want to see proof that you're allowed to do this. And we know that they cannot because of slick responses from your employer, slick responses from the lawyer for the interrogatory. If I could just close that. Okay. Let me see if I can find this real fast. Okay. 1 second. Okay. See, this is the San Bernardino, which can't be a plaintiff or a petitioner, but they're getting away with it, unfortunately. Objection: a document request phrase calls legal conclusions and is vague and ambiguous. Okay? Now, what he's saying is that I'm using legal conclusions. Well, they're using legal conclusions. Their legal conclusions are in their income withholding order. They're like, well, there's a court order issued by a court saying that so-and-so has to pay child support, and we're enforcing that order. That's a legal conclusion. So my legal conclusion is, well, where is this writ? Where's this writ of execution? Where's this writ of garnishment? Where is this court order? And this guy's response is to pull an objection. See, stipulation of judgment filed. That's because this guy here, he was tricked into signing a stipulation, but he did not sign away his rights. See, that's a slick maneuver they pull. So what they do is they get you to sign these, stipulation papers that you're given jurisdiction to a commissioner. Okay, but you didn't sign away your rights. So that doesn't mean that they get to trample all over your rights. Okay? The document request as phrased calls for legal conclusions. He's being a wise guy, okay, this guy. But I had something for him, and I'll show you. 1 second here. If I can close this out. Okay. So what I did last night, I have a response to Jeffrey Schroer. That's the attorney. And he's a wise guy. So I have a response for him. Oh, here we go. So what I did was I let him know a notice of claim for damages against Jeffrey Schroer for intentional misrepresentation of facts, obstruction of discovery of evidence, and concealment of fraud. On March 8th, attorney Jeffrey Schroer of Kern County Department of Child Support intentionally misrepresented facts and intentionally obstructed the discovery of evidence of a valid court order issued by a court of competent jurisdiction in an effort by Jimmy Simpson to prove that his property was deprived by fraudulent efforts by Kern County Department of Child Support. Let it be known that any signature by Jimmy Simpson to any stipulation was not a waiver of rights guaranteed by the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 9th, 14th Amendments of the Bill of Rights, whereby the misrepresentation of facts by Jeffrey Schroer is consistent with fraud, conspiracy, and deprivation of rights under 18 U.S.C. These are crimes. Mr. Jimmy Simpson did have help by a retired law enforcement officer creating this affidavit in response to response interrogatories, and it is evidenced by the lack of evidence, refusal to comply with discovery of evidence, and issuing income withholding orders without any evidence of a money judgment recorded with the county clerk is proof of very serious crimes committed by Kent County Department of Child Support and Jeffrey Schroer. Attorney Jeffrey Schroer objected to discovery of evidence when it is stated in Federal Rule 33 that organization for which discovery of evidence is sought cannot object, but did by calling discovery of evidence burdensome. When one of the people with rights guaranteed by the United States Constitution Bill of Rights, Jimmy Simpson, has been forced into poverty by income withholding orders issued without proof of a court order from a court of competent jurisdiction. Attorney Jeffrey Schroer objected to an interrogatory seeking discovery of evidence of a properly recorded court order ordering Kern County Department of Child Support to seize the property of Jimmy Simpson by income withholding order. Pursuant 28 U.S.C. Section 1691, all orders or writs from a United States court must have a judicial signature of the clerk and seal of the court. Attorney Jeffrey Schroer, whatever, intentionally used legalese and misrepresentation of facts to conceal the fact that no such order exists whereby all property seized from Jimmy Simpson's were from a void income withholding order because there is no court order authorizing Kern County Department of Child Support to seize property. And you get the idea where I'm going. And I'm not done with that yet. But these are the type of things that I'm good at. But it's also evidence that they don't have a right to do what they're doing. Okay? And it's showing that my affidavits are getting responses. And it's the right way to go. Okay? And if the child support people cannot show proof of a court order, then they're going to have to return all that property. All right, so listen, I hope I didn't go off on too many tangents, and I apologize. I hope you got an idea that an exemplified certificate is going to force these people to show proof that they have a court order signed by a clerk. If they don't, they got problems. And we're going to see where this goes. All right, so I just want to say thanks everybody. I hope I covered everything, and you guys have a nice day.